March 16th, this is Judy Zablon, conference room 1, Board of Tax Assessment Appeals.
It's extension 6.
Oh, it is just extension
Just a 6, yeah, just a
Because
X6.
it's barely gets.
I know, and I went on the spreadsheet and opened the column a little bit.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Oh, you just walked by me. Hey, John.
Hey, how are you doing there? Hello.
How are you?
Can I come in?
You're good. Yes.
How are you?
Where's your sister?
Stuck in the basement.
Oh my gosh.
Nah, she's at the accountant's today, Glenn Frost. And she's doing her thing there.
Okay, I've got a couple things you realize.
Is that okay if I come in early? Is this
yeah,
okay?
Fine.
Fine?
I'm sitting here doing nothing. Nice to have a pleasant face.
All right.
All right, just bear with me a second. I got a couple
Take
of
your
things
time, do your thing.
that I need to do.
Okay.
And I got to state a few things for the record.
Absolutely. Would you want me to sign any of this stuff?
Yeah, I will in a moment. Yep. You know the drill really well.
I'm
Judy Zablak. I'm one of 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm going to hear your appeal today. Your hearing is also being recorded. Just a moment.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, you were too funny. Your appeal number is 196. The property you're appealing is located at 1460 Post Road. The owner of this property is 1460 Post Road, LLC. The town has your property appraised at $1,282,300. You are requesting that the town reduce your appraised value to $800,000. Is that all correct?
Or less, yes, please.
Okay, great. Now I'm just going to confirm that you're the owner of the property or an agent authorized to appeal on the owner's behalf and swear you in. So can you please state your name for the record and whether you're an owner or an agent?
Owner, John George.
And you want to just say your property address? Go ahead and do that.
It's 1460 Post Road, John George, LLC.
Thank you. Okay. And now I'm going to swear you in. Ready? Now we go with a hand, okay?
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Oh my God, yes.
All right, John, talk to me.
Okay.
This is, and I have to read these things as redundant as it is. I just want to make sure that I don't miss anything.
No problem at all.
Put everything in order. So, as your opportunity to provide testimony as to why you believe the market value of your property on October 1 was $800,000 and not the value assigned by the town. The market value is what the property will most likely was sold for on that date, and please try to be as succinct as possible. 2.
Okay, I disagree with the town's assessment, all because of, again, the building, the way it's situated. The property was, for 5 years, I couldn't rent it. It was a blight on Fairfield. I had Las Vidas coffee shop in there, a local Andy, a little coffee shop, and like a little mom and pop store. And he was there for 5 years, and he did nothing to the building. As far as for interior, it was just the building since the original form, like the brick and everything like that. I came in, and it took me 5 years. The place was unrented for 5 years, and then I fixed it up beautifully because it's the corner of Fairfield. It's the Times Square of Fairfield, and it took me 5 years to find a tenant called Be Good, and they were a health food conscious for the younger generation, for no antibiotics, vegetables, and health food. So, which was, for me, because I grew up here in Fairfield, I wanted, and being in the restaurant business, I wanted somebody, to also, because I'm a proud owner, and I wanted somebody good there. And the people, I wasn't attracting anybody for that building, so I had to go put a lot of money into it. But it was like a kind of a backslap, because when you put money into something, it raises the price of the building, which is obviously, but to make Fairfield more beautiful and more economically viable to walk downtown, to attract better tenants, I had to put more money into it. But I can only, because of the odd shape of the building, and it was very difficult for the last 5 years to re-rent it because of the flooding issue there. I'd like the board to understand that there's a flooding issue there.
Tell me about that.
The flooding issue there is Sanford Street becomes underwater. Snappy Gator, which is across the street, on this side floods the whole basement, and it's his property and my property are the two ones that flood. The water goes right through the front door, but the back, the way the property goes up, it goes up, the street goes up.
Mm-hmm.
So it all pitches there, everything pitches right there, and they try to correct it by putting an extra sewer in there to take care of the volume, but it just hasn't done that. And it's a stigma of, that's why I think it should be way below 800,000, but because of the other properties next door, I have the doctor's office, which is next door, and he's got 5 units in there, and he's not even paying, if you go by per square, he's like under $200 a square foot to assess his building. This building, I had it done by Baldwin Pearson.
Oh, good, you have an appraisal.
I have the appraisal,
Fantastic.
but I just want to get the pros and cons to having, this building on the corner.
Okay.
And this is the downtown, this is the Times Square of Fairfield. So this is what the entrance to the train station. So I did my part as somewhat concerned and loving person of the town to try to attract more people, but it hasn't been able to even do that. And I keep lowering the rent. And the only thing that I'm going to have to put in there is a bodega or an ice cream store or a pop-up store. That it's really disheartening that this is what I'm getting. And then you have a major retail, Victoria's Secret, that was directly across the street, can't even come back in, so they're empty too. So I don't want the town to also understand when these commercial buildings, not the homes and stuff like that, because everybody needs a home, but nobody needs a business because everybody has a computer now. So in order to attract good tenants and mom and pop, people who live here, and I'll explain to you, like I had Chalbella, which is a local clothing store, nice ladies, live in Fairfield, brought them in here, gave them cheap rent, and I'll tell you about that, that's in the other one, the other store. But they need cheap rent to start up a business, and by having the triple nets also included that, and paying my mortgage and paying everything like that, it's no longer a profitable business. I didn't inherit these businesses. I purchased a house, I saved, I bought, I put money into it. I've been investing for the last 15 years where my profit's been this. And the town has the records of my rents have always been low, but I'm taking the burden of, I had 6 properties that have tenants in there, and I'm trying to always attract a better clientele for downtown Fairfield. So I'm also appealing to the board's business sense to understand that, because I was once in business too, that businesses need a certain level of functionality, but I can't go anything less than like $20 a square foot, and that's what's happening to me. These people who keep coming in that want to start a business, the mom and pops, they need like a year rent. So, I mean, this is all good with Baldwin Pierce, but I'm trying to appeal to the board sense of business. And Mark Barnhart, I've been having discussions with him and the town, and like I said, we have a plan, put the park benches in front, walk around town, what's going on with how it attracts people walking, getting an ice cream, going to dinner, going to the theater, going to things. It has to all work together. But if I can't get help, from, not even from the government, but if the town is not willing to help the landlord, which is, again, I didn't inherit this. Basically, the bank owns it, and now you raise the taxes, and then what am I left to manage the building with? Pennies.
Show me what you got.
Sure.
I'm not cutting you off, I want to make sure we say
Not a
what
problem,
you're saying.
not a problem.
Oh.
You
Oh,
went
is
to-
this one? What do you, oh, is
This
this
is
for?
your shower, appraisal, stuff like that, so you have two of them.
For this property?
Yes, for this property.
So tell me about the two appraisals, and I'm gonna put them in the file. Tell me about them.
Okay, the appraisals so if we go over them,
We have just a few minutes on this unless,
okay, the only thing I
and
was
we got your next one too,
Okay.
so I wanna make sure that we get you going.
okay. That's the only thing is that, the flooding issue and trying to rent the property to viable mom and pop people who live in Fairfield. Be Good was a local couple, but
Right,
they ran it with their kids, and the kids would come after school. And Andy, who was there before the tenant, was there, but I just want to tell them that I just keep lowering and lowering and lowering the rents, and no matter how it is, I still have the stigma of the flooding, and it just doesn't warrant the $800,000. It actually warrants a lot less, but George Shaw did the appraisal on it, and if he
do
identified.
we have two, copies of the same appraisal, or they're different?
Yeah, no, the same. Do you need two copies? Just a
No,
copy?
I only need one.
Okay, then you keep one. And
Then,
I'm
yeah.
so sorry to go over this. George just gave me all these, so, you know, just in case there was more people here. You got it, okay. I hope I don't make you nervous with just doing this. Is that okay?
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, just okay.
Yeah, it's fine, it's fine.
I'm healthy and wealthy and wise. Okay, so.
All right, yeah, Bolton and Pearson's been around for a very long time.
Yes, a very established company, and you can see the building on the first page, if you look at, really quick, where his rendering of the market is. That's 1460, it's Be Good, you see a photo of it. So just you see like this here.
Yep.
There's a photo of it. And like I said, you see all the details and the money I put into it, the copper, the nice, to attract them. And they still went out because of COVID. And the place has been empty for a year now, and I still can't rent it. So I'm back to square one again.
And Las Vegas was pretty cool.
It was great. It was a great little place. It was a great place. And Andy just moved around the corner because he did good, but he moved to a cheaper rent.
Right.
Which, again, I was only charging him $3,000. And then he moved to next door for a bigger place, around the corner next to the movie theater, next door.
Yeah, been on.
Yeah, and he's paying $4,000 over there for a bigger space. And they're paying less taxes over there. I don't know. Oh, and plus I have no parking there. There's no parking.
Right.
And they give tickets to everybody there. That's another reason why I can't attract. That building's unattractive to the area. There's no parking there, and I get everybody from the doctor's office parking there in front, so there's no really parking for customers there at all. And that's a big problem down there. That all the tenants keep saying, no parking. If you go by the assessment, the town has
Right, I'm looking at, here's what I know is going to happen. I'm going to go to deliberations. We're going to ask them where are the comparables, other than just the opinion here.
No, the comparables will just keep going because George laid it all out here, but just, I felt that the board needs to hear that about the town and my situation there, about the flooding, no parking. It hasn't been rented previously 5 years. It took me to find the right tenant because it's an obligation for me because it's at the center of town.
Oh, okay, here are the recent sales. It's kind of buried there in the back.
Okay.
Okay.
And then he had a per square foot. Here's like the evaluations where you have like quattro pazis and where quattro pazis is.
Yeah.
And that used to be Mrs. Oh my God, used to be Downey's property, our first mayor,
All right, I'm looking at the comparables here, okay.
so they have a base rent of, like I said, $275 a square foot.
Right,
And, I mean, George, he took all the averages within the last 6 months, and he has a base rent of $375, and with the square footage, it comes out to $840 to $25. That's actual facts, you know, going apples with other buildings, comparable. But you can't find anything because a lot of old people owned all those buildings, so they haven't done anything to the buildings.
okay, yeah, I see this, this is great, I'm glad we have comparables.
Yep.
And that's gonna be important for the board.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else? Can I convince you, to the Board of Appeals to try to keep it even lower if they could, because of trying to attract better tenants and more mom and pop, more people, local people who live in town, work in town, eat in town, play in town. And if, again, I don't have stores on top, stores on the side to keep, do the average and keep it, one lower than the other to attract it. It's just one building, one loan, one bank that I have to deal with.
Okay.
If that helps.
Thank you, John.
Okay.
And I've got your appraisal that I will attach to this.
Okay.
So if you don't have any other questions, this will conclude your hearing, and then we will go on to the next one.
Yes, please. And if you need an extra copy.
Yeah, you know what, could you sign the,
Yes. Yes.
let's get that in there.
I'm swearing again.
Yeah, I swear again. Did she give it to you for
Yes,
both?
Yep.
For both for both deals?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I gotta lick my finger.
Okay. Oh, yeah, so can I have the 196 first?
196, yes, and
Yeah.
I'll sign here.
And let me put that in the file.
And do I need to take this or?
Good, no, I got the rest of it. Okay. Number 2,
1610 Post Road?
1610 Post Road. All right, I gotta go over a couple things again, like your custom.
Okay, no problem. So can I run over to you now and hand you one?
Yeah.
Unless you want the exercise?
Yeah, but
Because I need a little bit.
start here, but I need to do, I gotta do, yes.
Okay, so I'll give you that
Yes,
there.
Steve, thank you so much, John.
All righty.
Okay. We will just continue. Your appeal number is 197. The property you're appealing is located at 1610 Post Road. The owner of this property is 1610 Post Road LLC. The town has the property appraised at $1,934,400. And you are requesting the town reduce the value to $1,500,000.
Yes, please.
Is that all correct? Okay. Now, I'm going to confirm that you're the owner of the property, or an agent authorized to appeal on the owner's behalf, and swear you in.
Yes. John Carriger.
Please state your name and property address for the record.
Oh, tell me when you want the hand.
And then we'll do the hand.
Okay. John Carriger at 1610 Post Road LLC. I'm the owner.
Thank you, John. All right. And now let's swear you in. Now you can raise your right hand. Okay? You can raise it higher. Maybe a higher. Yeah, a little lower. That's good.
This is my good one.
Oh my
This is
God.
the one I slipped on the ice with. I couldn't raise this one if I wanted to.
Oh no, sorry. Okay, so raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? So help you God?
Oh my God, yes.
Thank you so much, John. All right. So I just thank you for bringing that appraisal up to the desk for me. All right, will you, please sign your name on that, paper? That you had for me.
May I bring this to you, please?
Please do,
Okay.
thank you so
I'm
much.
going to get my morning exercise here.
All right, thanks, John. All right, much appreciated. Okay. So now's your opportunity to provide the testimony as to why you believe the market value of your property located at 1610 Post Road was 1.5, and that's the value assigned by the town. Market value is what your most likely property most likely was sold for on that date. So I'm in receipt of your appraisal. Thank you so much. I'm going to mark that for the file. So why can you live there?
Okay, property located at 1610 Post Road in Fairfield. I had a certified appraiser, Baldwin Pierce, who did the market evaluation and is a well-known expert in deciding evaluations. But I also appeal to the board's sense of business. Again, I have other properties located in Fairfield, and this property, again, I had a problem with taking it over again. There was a blight on Fairfield, remodeling it. It took me 2 years to renovate and clean this property up. As you'll see photos of how nice it looks and who I attracted nice tenants over 10 years ago, actually 15 years ago. The property, when I purchased the property back in 06. And it took me 2 years to get the right tenants in there, the right feel. I had Blush, I had Amore, again, local businesses, local people, residents who live here, who had babies here, who are now grown up now, the two ladies of Fairfield. But again, as the rent escalated and they taxed me on the town back then when they had Blush, it was Wild Rice and Blush,
Right.
and Amore Clothing. And we had two young business girls who had a little clothing store there, so it's always been a clothing store there, and always mom and pop stores that have always been attracted to, and I did the best I could with doing a nice facade and, again, dressing up the building to attract a good clientele. But again, it's like a slap in the face when you fix up the place and then the town taxes you more. So I had an appraisal when I purchased it, and also I want to say that when I purchased these buildings 10, 15 years ago, I bought them in auction with bids. So it wasn't that it was market value. I paid over and above the prices for these properties 10 to 15 years, 06, that's almost 14 years ago, right? So these properties were, back then, people who passed away, and they didn't do anything, like a Norman Palick who owned these buildings, and I forgot the other family, the Kish family who owns the other building that I bought, and then another, when I also owned the bar down the street, it was called House Place. And all these places, I was in bidding wars with all other, like Kenny Cleveland and all these other big Cintos and all the other guys, and I had to come up with more money to outbid them, and I put everything I had on the line to get these buildings. And then I had to go to the bank and borrow more money against the building to make it look good, but I still haven't ever recouped my where the potential of the building is, and I'm still trying to attract better tenants, and I can't.
Is it fully rented now?
No, the place has been empty again for a year, and all I can get is pop-up stores. I just have Wild Rice in there,
right.
and he's the only one operating, and he still hasn't opened up his store, and I'm working with the bank now so I could adjust his rent to keep him here in business. And all these stores, I did the same with Be Good, Al's Place, and then this here. So I lowered all the rents on everything to work with the bank. But this again, I'm appealing to the board's sense of business. Besides, I have this is apples to apples, but what I'm appealing to is that I can't attract anybody else. I have the cheapest leases in town, and I can't sustain mortgage, taxes, insurance, and a client to bring in business. And the place across the street, again, for apples with apples, is $275 a square foot. And if you just get down to
I'm looking at
the back where he has his...
Are these the same comparables for the others?
Yes, but they have this little, around the same area. And he has Y, and he has all that. I mean, George went into detail with everything. I love the way he went into detail. If we're going for apples, but
I'm looking for that. It's kind of like buried in here.
Yeah, he's got a lot of information. He's got to back up all his conclusions here.
All right. Yeah, I'm looking for that.
I wish I could just tell you what page. Oh, the page is page 15.
Thank you. I'm making notes of that.
So if we go back to where, he actually does his, per square foot based on the rent that he took. And the page before, page 14, you have, these are the prices.
Where's the comparables, the listing of comparables?
The comparables,
That's
page 14. Yes,
okay, page 14 and 15. Okay.
And these are all sales within the last 6 months or to a year. 6 months to a year. And the building is only 4,500 square feet, and it goes in an angle. And again, it's just a hard. Again, with parking, people downtown, there is a narrow driveway to get in, and again, with the tenants with Wild Rice, that's their employees when they were open take up all the parking and stuff like that. So I can't attract another person in there because I was trying to get, I don't want a doctor's office, and I'm trying to get businesses, and the only ones who are coming now are those pop-up medical places,
right?
And they don't even want to pay, the square foot. They want to pay like $30 per foot.
Well, I've got a question for you, because I saw it on the other file, and I see it on this file too. So the appraisal that you have is higher than your request. Since you want to talk about that for, actually, we can go back to the other, they're both together, you're doing it on both of them. So why is that?
Because I don't know why the town, like I said, that's what the town is, and he's, like I said, George feels that
okay, so here's what I'm saying. For example, here you're asking for 1.5, and the appraisal is 1.6 that you gave me. So it's a difference. It's less than the appraisal that you gave me. So I'm just trying to figure out what the rationale is there. And it's also on the other one, your request was less than the appraisal that you gave me. So
it's because when we started this out, it was there, and again, as the market moved and COVID is going, and we're not seeing, I thought this would always come back or something. We're saying, okay, that's fine. The town needs to get their money, but I can't sustain. When I start looking at now, I don't have any food to eat. When these buildings are taking me down, as far as with the bank.
Did you say that you're talking with the bank to restructure the mortgage on it?
And right, because even if it comes out like that, that's why I said I'm appealing to the board because they're saying that their appraisals that they're doing is a lot less. So they're coming down. If they take the building, it's a lot less.
Right.
So and you don't want that. So if I start these buildings where we can't come out of it, and I don't have any tenants, you're going to start seeing. You ever see the broken window theory? Where they, if you don't fix it, then all of a sudden you start seeing foreclosures. So we're trying to stop that and put boards up and stuff like that. So it's from where we started the appraisals and then we got to here now, the reason why they're lower now is because things haven't gotten any better for me. And this is when, we said, okay, this was apples with apples that George did as best he could. Because, those are people who are selling, that had the properties for years and whatever, that they're selling them now. And you have a developer that's going to come in, knock 2-3 buildings down and build apartment buildings to go up, like around the corner where Naughty Dolphin is.
Yeah.
So that's on one. You'll see one of the properties here. But they have a bigger use for it. They bought, this little property, but they're going to build up 32 units.
All right, we're on time, so
Okay.
what else do you want to tell me?
That's it, but the reason why, again, is going for the both is where we started and where it is now. I feel it's a lot lower, but this is what he did at the time, but it's not getting any better with COVID. So this is just apples with apples, but I need help from the town here in order to stay afloat here. Because I did my part as far as, and this is what I want to appeal to the board. I did my part as a local business person to try to get the right person in here, but I need the help now of the board of assessment to help me as a business person to lower my tax on the building to attract other tenants. And as you can see, that the places are empty, but the buildings still look good. I put flowers in front of my buildings to make sure they're nice and kept nice, even though they're vacant, and just keeping up for Fairfield. So I appreciate a little.
You know what I want to say for the record? Your appraiser is an MAI, and because I'm in real estate, I know all about this. The MAI is the creme de la creme of the top commercial appraisers. And very few appraisers actually get that designation. So, I thank you.
Thank you I thank you, Judy, for picking that up. I just, like I said, I get a little more emotional sometimes, so I can't really, because I love Fairfield, I love the town, I grew up with the people in town, and then a lot of people that it was always a family business, so I'm always feeling for the local business person. So I've been on this side, so I've always been, and my family, and I don't know how to appeal that to the board. Listening to you is wonderful. I'm so happy I have you, but I hope you can convey this to the board of appeals and, whatever you can do. And I appreciate you even noticing that, and thank you for picking up again with the difference of, like I said, I wish it was a lot lower. That's the only thing I can hope, but this is professional. So
Thanks, John.
Thank you. And then,
much.
should I give you an extra copy, or?
I don't need an extra copy, no. It's actually, it's fine. And you know what? Actually, I'll take those 2 extra copies, and I'll bring them, I'll have them for me personal, because the file has it. These are duplicates.
Yeah.
So thank you.
No, it's duplicates, so if you need them, anything,
You got it.
any more, did I sign everything, did I get everything?
Did you,
I didn't bring my handkerchief to cry enough here. I don't know what,
Well, what about your sworn statement? Did you give me
Yes,
that?
I handed it to you right there. I hope I did.
Make sure. Yeah, it's in here, okay.
Do you want some rubber bands, or is this stuff here? You need them? No, yes, no, okay.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'll take a rubber band. Sure. You ready?
Yes, that's what I was going to say. We'll have a nice little fight there. That's good. No fights.
All right.
Good karma.
John, thank you very much.
Miss Judy, thank you so much. I appreciate taking the time.
You have a pleasant day.
I'm going to try to have a good one. So last guy crying out of here, so we'll see.
Well, yeah,
But he didn't have you, though.
No, he didn't meet with me. I know what to do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
Have a good hope. Should I call anybody else up?
She's gonna know. I'm the only one doing hearings today.
Oh, you are?
As soon as you walk out, and we're waiting.
Yeah? We're going time?
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Thanks, John. You too.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning.
Hello,
How are you?
good morning, Lynn, how are you?
Good, how about
You
yourself?
look familiar, I saw you last week, I think you even got a haircut.
Yes, I
Did you
did.
get a haircut? It
Yes,
looks
I
really
did.
good, it looks really good.
Mhm.
Thank you, you know I gotta do a couple things for
Yep.
the record, all right? So, bear with me a moment, while, we get completely and
Yep.
totally redundant for every time that you come in
Okay.
here, but there's certain things that I just need to do, and I thank you for,
Yep.
being accepting of that. All right, so I'm going to say my name is Judy Sablack,
Right.
and I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals.
Yep.
I'm going to hear your appeal. Your hearing is also being recorded. I'm going to state a few things for the record. Please correct me if anything is inaccurate. Your appeal number is 182. The property you're appealing is located at 653 Belmont Street. The owner of this property is 653 Post Road Corporation. The town has your property appraised at $512,600, and you are requesting the town reduce your appraised value to $200,000. And, okay, great. Now I'm just going to confirm that you're either the owner of the property or an agent authorized to appeal on the owner's behalf of Terry Lane. So can you please state your name for the record, whether you are an owner or an agent?
I'm the owner of the property, Leonard Moscow.
Thank you, Leonard. Did you, I'm going to swear you in now.
Yep.
Did she give you a paper to sign?
Yes, I have it right there. I signed both of them.
Oh, how good for you. All right, so can you raise your right hand?
Yep.
Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal and all questions shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you so much. All right, now to our opportunity to provide testimony as to why you believe the market value of the property at 53 Belmont was $200,000 on October 1, 2020, and that value is signed by the town. A market value is what your property most likely is sold for on that date. And what did you have? I see files. Do you have files that you want to submit?
Well, I did submit some things. I just want to be sure. Do you want to talk about Belmont or 653?
No. We're talking about 53 Belmont.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
So I did submit, hopefully you have it. And the reason why I'm saying the property is worth this type of money is you can't quantitate an appraisal on this property as I would have had an appraisal on the property. I own a lot of real estate, a lot of commercial, over 50 properties of commercial. I'm very well versed in the business. This property is under environmental right now, and it will be for the next 5 years.
Tell me about the environmental issues.
Okay. The environmental issues is that we are remediating the property. And when I bought the property, people that are doing it is called Circle K properties. It was a gas station, former gas station. So I have to wait for them to remediate. And it's a tube system, which I have a map here. We originally had a system in there that cooked all the environmental. We had a huge, which I've given you here.
I'm looking at this. Is there anything here, like, that talks about the environmental issues?
Yes.
Here, like,
Well, it's in both. Well, they're
like
both.
DEP.
Yes, I have all that. I gave you some of it. I have more here.
Okay.
They're both combined together. Really, they're both under the same environmental company.
And 14.
Right, they're separate lots. It's a separate parcel. I kept it always a separate parcel that someday I'm going to do something with.
Okay,
But,
so wait a minute. So this is
they're combined together.
653 and 53 and 53 Belmont.
Correct.
These are both really,
It's not one piece, it's two separate parcels,
but they're,
but they're under the same DEP regulations because it was a gas station.
oh, okay.
Okay, so this was a formal gas station site. It was a gas station site in the 1900s, the 1920s or 30s. It was a gas station and coal site. They sold coal and gas. And what they had to do is put in a system, okay? What the system included was they put pipes all underneath the property. And they had to draw with water all the environmentals underneath the property and burnt it on the site in this booth, which I have here. Which
When did they, this was way back?
No, it's been going on, they just took it out in 2017. I have the permits that they finally took it out in 2017.
They took out all those pipes?
No, not the pipes yet.
Okay.
They took out the cooker. They didn't need to do the cooker anymore.
Wow.
Which is, I have a picture of it.
Did you submit that?
I don't know if I submit the picture. I did submit the environment, all the environmental.
Now, did you submit all the environmental on the Post Road and not the one on Belmont?
I submitted a map because I figured it would be.
Oh, okay, so the
If
map,
you want to open the map, you could see.
okay.
I'm going to
so-
submit a big one because I found it from the environmental company.
All right, so here's what I think, what we're doing, we're basically talking about both of these properties at the same
Yes,
time.
yes, that's how I'm going to refer to it.
Okay, all right, so, this I have, you have something that I don't have in this file.
Right.
You
I
have
want,
anything that's new to
yes, I
add?
want to give it to you, but I want to explain it to you. So
All
how?
right, all right,
Okay.
so then would you mind if I came over there and looked at
Sure,
that map?
yeah, no problem.
Thank you very much.
So here's what's going on. These are all manholes that are drilled. All this property is drilled. These are all manhole covers,
Oh my gosh.
okay? Through all the property. Here's where the cooker was.
And the cooker is taking all that old, explain that to me.
VOCs and all the old environmental problems. It
Wow.
sucks it in, cooks
And this
it.
you started in 2017?
No, this started in 1995.
Oh.
In 2017, they took it out.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I hired an appraiser, because I want to talk to you first, and if we can't come to the conclusion, hopefully we could, I'll take it to the next step, because the problem is that's going on. It's not a gas station. It's two people there now. It's a sandwich shop who's a great guy, but he's behind about 9 months because of COVID, and I'm letting him stay. And we have Enterprise in the corner. That's it. Those are the two revenues. So I wanted to give you this.
This removed out of the 2017.
Yes, this is where it was, right here. This was a cooker. This was as big as this. This is how big it was.
Oh my God.
It was cooking all the materials. Now, this was all done with all big companies that they hired. This is an ongoing. I just want to get my bearings here. I don't care if I can hire 10 appraisers. Nobody can come up with a solution until we get this all done, do the test holes, and see what the environmental cleanup is going to be. Let me just move this part here.
And what's the size of this property then?
Excuse me?
What's the size? Lot size?
The whole piece is about a little under a half acre, maybe.
And that's just,
Both pieces,
oh, both pieces together?
both pieces.
Okay. So let me just look at that other file for a moment. So,
I want to give you this, I'll give you a few things here. Okay, so the shed, everything complete, it started in 2015.
oh, you're reading something.
Yes, I'll give you these are what they did, they took it all out, the shed and all these are their permits that we got from the town.
But these are all removed.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you, this is removed, but this is ongoing.
Oh, okay.
Well, this here is part of it, this has water that comes down here, they shut the water off, and the sewer, they capped it, which I have a map for that too.
Okay. Yeah, you've got, it looks like you've got a ridiculous amount of ongoing work there.
Right,
Get it up to
it's
some
the next 3 to 5 years. And if you need more environmental, they send us discs. There are 1,000 pages. I could give you the discs. There are 1,000 pages each disc from the environmental companies. 500 to 1,000 pages.
Oh my goodness.
So, in the next thing we have to do, that's why I'm here to talk about, we did some groundwater, we did some things with LBG, which is the biggest company around. They're representing us, LBG and ATC. ATC is this company right here that I gave you paperwork on.
Okay.
They're the site monitors for the project that they plugged all these holes in. This is what it looks like. And you have a picture of it. This is what I have through the whole property. This
is what you're talking about?
Yes.
Those?
Yes.
Yeah, these little.
Right. Those are monitor wells.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And what they do is you see how these are. I gave you a pad on this, but these are how they do it.
Right.
And then they come and take little samples every 2 years through this.
And how long is this process going to take?
They said the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, that's what you said, 3 to 5 years, and.
Right. I have no say on it because this here is done by Circle K, which was
Right.
the gas station originally.
Right.
And the state mandates that they take care of it while I have the place.
Okay.
Okay?
Fine.
So this is what they do. They drill holes like this, they put a number, and then they put the monitoring well in it.
Yep.
And this is what you're seeing through here.
These are all these.
Monitoring wells. Do you see the numbers?
Yep.
They're all in there. That's why I wanted to give you this map so you'll see.
No, I appreciate this.
How-
This is good because you could see that
Yes.
these monitoring wells, they are all
Yes.
over. They have to be.
Yes. So through the whole lot.
Right. Got it.
And I did give you this report. Hopefully you
I don't
have.
know, is that in the?
It should be from when I sent it. It might be post. I could give you this one. There's no problem. I can give you this one.
You know what, I don't want to leave any stone unturned.
Right. And
So whatever
now the other
paperwork
thing
you
is,
have, I
just so
want
you
it.
know, we're with LVG and this company. We're going to have to dig by hand around the gas station. That's our next thing. So I'm contacting everybody. The reason is you have to dig by hand is because they can't bore down near the station, near the building.
When you're all in these, you probably can't disturb any of this
Well,
stuff
no,
either.
nothing right now,
Right.
till they take it out. So I contacted, what we've been doing is, we're doing it by hand, a lot of this stuff now. And you can see it here, it says right here, advanced via hand excavation. This is from the company, which is LVG.
Yeah.
They're doing it by hand, everything. So I can give you whatever you need, but what I'm here today to say to you is two things. The gas station,
Yeah, they got the.
right, The
Get
gas,
to
yes,
a
I'll get you to
conclusion.
conclusion, yes. The gas station on the corner was sold clean, right 100 feet away from me, 150 feet away from me for $900,000 on North Bank.
Did you bring this?
Yes, I gave it to you. I thought it was fine.
Okay.
I just want to check to see that.
And that was, oh, that's the one on the corner?
Yes,
on
it was
North
sold for
Benson?
$900,000. 800
When
and change.
was that?
6 months ago?
That's clean with no contamination.
No contamination, right.
Which I think are gonna be negative, actually.
Here it is right here, 840.
Okay, you included that.
Hopefully you have that.
Oh, okay, so a sale price, well, you just said 900, but you
Yeah,
said
it's
840.
840. I thought it was 900. It's 840.
Okay, all right. Yeah, and I have that.
Okay,
You-
this one had oil contamination on Bronson Road.
And you included this
I
already,
included it,
right?
supposedly, I hope you have it. This had oil contamination, and this was $150,000.
150,000 on Bronson
Yes,
Road,
gas
and
that was with, it had contamination. They're gonna put an ice cream shop.
He's putting.
Wellness property.
No,
John
that's, I think that's DeCilio's property now.
John Wellner used to own it, I don't know.
Oh, okay, so I think they're,
I thought Sylvia owned across the street.
he owns the garage, because I know
Okay.
the mechanics, they're gonna give him a new garage over there, okay. And that was contaminated.
Yes. That's why it took a long time for them to sell it, the banks.
Wow, great. Let me just confirm that I have these in the file.
Okay.
Here's what I, you know
It
what?
might be in 653's file, not.
Yeah, you know what, so here's what I wanna do.
Yeah.
653, I wanna make sure that 53 has the same information.
Oh, okay, sure.
Right, because you're putting
Yes.
them together.
Yes,
And-
but they're separate lots, separate.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're
Right.
contiguous
Yes.
lots, they both
Yes.
have the same
That's correct.
issues.
That's correct.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so I wanna make sure that
Okay.
all of this information is in both, so, which is the new information that,
Okay. This here, I only have one map I'm giving you, but that's both lots.
you have
I'm
another
giving you
map.
this.
You have another map of this,
Right.
yes?
Right. Well, I want to give you a big map so you can have it
Okay.
in your file.
All right, so here's what I wanna do right now,
Yeah.
I wanna make sure that I have these comparables in Belmont.
Okay,
those
so I'll
are
give you this
only
one.
in,
Bronson Road I'll give you, and I'll
Right.
give you,
the other one on Post Road
Post
for
Road.
860, and the one on Bronson Road for
yes, but it says,
115.
I think this might be 653's number, I'm not sure. If you could maybe have to cross
It's
it.
okay, so, no, don't worry
Okay,
about it. I wanna make sure it's in there, because somebody's gonna look, and I wanna make sure you're covered, okay? Because this is not, and this was not in here. That's right, yeah, they do have the other property ID number on here,
Mhm.
so,
That's, the property ID number for Belmont is 12236.
right, so I'm, changing this, we add to the appeal number. So, I'm adding them to the appeal, so I put number 182 on that. Anything else you wanna add to
Yes, I
the
want
one
to,
on
well, I might as
Belmont?
well give you this whole booklet for Belmont Street if you don't have it.
Let me see it.
That's for the front piece. That's the environmentals in there, some environmental.
Oh, and I know, I do not have this on there, no,
Okay.
this is super important,
Okay.
okay? So for the record, you're gonna see that, files attached to, appeal number 182 also have the number 12237 on it, and that 12237 is crossed out. These are already part of that file, this is contiguous to that property, and we're including it for, appeal number 182 on 53 Belmont. Thanks, Lynn. Okay, and now I have something to add to both?
Yes.
All
I'm
right,
gonna give you these two pictures,
right.
for one for each, just so they know.
Oh, okay, so, okay.
Okay. And then I'm gonna,
This is the same thing.
well, it is,
No.
but it's a lot. This one,
Okay, so see, there's two separate pictures.
yes,
Okay.
okay. One is,
I'm gonna include them both on both appeals.
right. One's the lot, this, if you look at this one here, I'm just trying, I put the cooker in, that's what I was trying to accomplish here when I was doing it. So, this is the lot and this is the piece of property. This is the gas station piece. There's no parking really in the front, but the canopy's down. Canopy's been down for a long time.
Okay.
And this is part of the lot, my piece.
What is this? What are these little lines here? What is that?
Oh, that's the total of them putting in this here. You see this? That's these lines.
Oh, okay, so that.
These are all water pipes that are going through.
Those dashed lines are water pipes?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I'm giving you this, so you'll understand it says the
And these
VOC.
are the monitoring, and these little items that
Yes.
monitoring?
Yes.
Everything here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And these are all if you look here, these are all the water tables, and they're telling you of all these items that are here.
Okay.
Okay, the colors versus this, that's why I brought this. This one here is the soil, water, this is this one here, going through here, going through the middle. These are all pipes going through like that.
Oh,
And they're catching these.
How complex is
Yeah.
that? Wow.
Right,
Good thing I read blueprints.
right.
And
So I have that.
we got like 2 minutes to wrap up.
Okay, what time is it?
It is, like 10, it's almost 10:30.
Okay.
I appreciate everything you did. I think with all this, the board should have a good understanding. We have a severely, looks like a severely impacted property.
And that's this piece. Mary's taking this.
All right.
That's why the original map that I'll get one from them. I just wanted to bring that today so you can understand that.
Oh, so
Those are
wait
all
a minute,
monitored.
do you want,
No, I'll get one from the environmental. I'll write to them and then they'll send me a new one.
well, if you want to, why don't you go and see whether
I could get, they'll send it within 30 days.
you're okay with that?
Yeah.
Because once
Yeah.
it's-
Well, yeah, I want you to
once
know, I
it's
know,
given to me,
I know.
It's going to be part of the
Yeah,
file.
I know that. That's why I want you to look and see that there's all monitoring wells through the whole property.
Those two.
Yeah.
Now, what else? Anything
No.
else that I should have?
No, I guess that's it. And then if you need any more environmental issues, I could give it to you.
Okay. All right, I think the comparables are going to be very, very helpful.
Right.
Got to have something like that, because some
But
of these
it's-
people
this
don't
is-
understand.
Yes, and I understand that you need appraisals all the time for commercial. I understand that, but this is totally different because I could hire the guys from Van Aken. I could hire all these guys, and there's one problem. I don't
You have an
know.
unknown. You got an unknown.
Right. And it's going on. It's going to be going on for 3 to 4 more years. I know that's the problem.
Right.
So that's where I'm at with that.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you very much. Good to see you.
Good.
Take care.
Yep. Have you done sandstones?
No,
appraisal
no,
yet?
I haven't,
No.
that doesn't sound familiar to me,
Okay.
so I didn't see it, and I don't have it.
So is there anything, before I leave, I was just wondering, is there anything that, any news on what is, meetings of, people and what's been going on with, appraisal work and things like that?
Well, any news, there's lots of news. I don't know exactly which news you're looking for. So,
Well,
help me out a little bit.
I just was wondering about, the first time when I came to see you,
Oh, we have not heard those, we haven't done those deliberations yet.
Okay. I
We're
just
still in
wanted to-
process. Nope, still in process. I was hoping to get them done by the end of the week, if possible.
Okay,
Okay?
no problem. I was just wondering that, because that was all. Okay, great. All right, thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Okay.
You have reached the law offices of Janata Lacat. Hello, Stephen Nagan.
Hello, Stephen. This is Judy Sablack from the Board of Assessment Appeals and from Deerfield. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm good. I'm calling you for your hearing. And are you prepared for me right now? Have everything you need? Okay. I've got a couple things that I'm going to need to do just for the record. Okay, so bear with me. And if you've done this before, it might seem a little redundant. My apologies for that.
Oh, no problem.
My name is Judy Zedwan. I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm going to hear your appeals today. Your hearing is also being recorded, both of them. I'm going to say a couple of things for the record, and please correct me if anything is missing. And we are going to discuss appeal number 397. The property you're appealing is located at 292 Pequot Avenue. The owner of the property is J.P. Morgan Chase Bank. The town has the property appraised at $3,804,600. You're requesting the town reduce the appraised value to $3,162,150. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, I'm just going to confirm that you're either the owner of the property or an agent authorized to appeal on the owner's behalf.
I am an agent authorized to appear on their behalf.
Okay, and please state your name for the record.
Stephen E. Nagan.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Now, I am going to swear you in. You raise your right hand, please, even though I don't see it. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment of telling on the question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you so much. Did you already sign something for the town? I think they maybe got email or they may mail something to you so that we see that you were sworn in. So just as an FYI, you may see it. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay? Another your opportunity to provide testimony as to why you believe the market value of the property, 292 Pequot, was $3,162,150, and not the value assigned by the town. Market value is what the property most likely would have sold for on that date. So I'm looking at the file. Would you like to chat with me about the property, please, and the appeal price?
Sure. The property is a branch bank operated by JP Morgan Chase. It's approximately 7,000 square feet, according to the assessor's record card. Additionally, I provided two comparable sales of banks, one in Fairfield and one in Stanford, which sold during the last few years. The one in Fairfield sold for $346 per square foot, and the one in Stanford sold for $241 per square foot. My request of $3,162,150 is based on a $450 per square foot value. So,
bear with me a second, because I'm looking at your file. Now, I may ask you to repeat that just because I'm making notes on your behalf, okay?
Oh, okay, no problem.
All right, 1899 Bronson, is that the one you're,
Yes.
okay, so, and that closed on 12/28, I see, of 20. And you're going on the price per square foot there, you saw 346.52, is that what you were talking about, right? And then the one in Stanford is on Hope Street,
Yes.
and that's 898 Hope Street, and that closed in 18. Did you have any other comparables that you could have, that were available?
These were the ones most close to the subject property. There's, branch banks are difficult. Sometimes they sell due to merger. These appear to be fee simple sales. So I deem these to be the most comparable to the subject. I did adjust the value of the subject up above these comps at $450 as a reasonable value, given that it's good location.
Mm-hmm.
The $450 per square foot that my appeal paperwork states brings it in line with the old assessment. The old assessment was around $400 per square foot, so it's a little bit above that. And the current assessment for the October 2020 date brings it at $541 per square foot, which I deem to be too high.
Okay. All right, got it. Got it. Anything else on this?
That's all on this one.
Okay. All right, I will be presenting your petition to the majority of the board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision within 7 days of the decision. All decisions will be made in March. If your appeal was denied, you can come back next year. And if you are granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next revaluation in 5 years. If you don't agree with the board's decision, you can take the next step and appeal your decision in court. Instructions on how to appeal will be in your decision letter. Okay?
Okay.
All right, we're on to the next one. Okay, and I guess a little bit redundant, my apologies for that.
Okay. Do you have to swear me in again, or?
You know what, well,
We can
before
skip it.
anyone wants you, yeah, I think we'll be okay, all
All
right?
right.
So, this is, your appeal number is 398. Property you're appealing is located at 1401 Post Road. The owner of the property is Chase Manhattan Bank of Connecticut. Town has property value appraised at $4,275,700. And you're requesting the town reduce your appraised value to $3 million even. Is all that correct?
Yes.
Can you please confirm that you're either an owner of the property or an agent authorized to appeal on the owner's behalf?
I am the agent authorized to appeal.
Okay, and we've already sworn you in on the other prior file. So, what would you like to share with me about this property?
This property is another JP Morgan Chase branch bank. This one is on Post Road in the downtown of Fairfield. It's 4,372 square feet, according to the assessor's property record. And that brings the new assessment of this property to $977 per square foot. I've attached the same two comparable sales, the one from Fairfield and the one from Stamford, that were discussed in the last appeal. You should have them in your file.
Right.
That came with the appeal.
I'm looking to make sure. Yeah, I just double confirming that they're in there. And yes, those same comparables are included here as well.
Right. So my request of $3 million brings it in basically in line with the last revaluation number. The last revaluation number was $3,375,500, which was around $772 per square foot. My request of $3 million is a little bit higher than the other Chase Bank. I believe this one's a little bit superior. It's in the downtown. It has like a drive-through canopy, but at $977, that would be inequitable, too high. So attached to the two comps, and the $3 million was our request for reduction.
Did you say that the last reval was appraised at $3,375,000?
Yes.
So it is technically I'm just trying to wrap my head around it because I know the other board members going to ask me. So $3,375,000 in 15, and now you're asking for a $3 million appraisal. So the property has gone down by over 10%. The value has gone down, you would say?
I would say so. Given COVID and everything that's going on, in October of 2020, I don't think the property would have sold for more than it did in 2015, hypothetically. The branch banks were closed, limited. People wouldn't be using these types of retail establishments other than for ATM use. And we think that would be fair market value for the property in October of 2020.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
Not at this time.
And what do you say, you're valuing this one at $977 per square foot? Or
that was the assessor's square foot value.
okay, and your square footage value?
Let me just do the $3 million number for you. That's $686 per square foot.
That's your request?
Correct, the $3 million.
Yeah, okay. all right. All right, that is, that's it, that's helpful. Anything else you would like to add?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And if you don't have any other questions for me, what I should mention to you before about the deliberation, we'll go into deliberation and for consideration vote. You'll be notified by mail of board's decision within 7 days of the decision. All the decisions will be made in March, and if your appeal is denied, you come back next year. If you're granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next revaluation of 5 years. If you don't agree with the board's decision, you can take the next step and appeal your decision in court. Instructions on how to appeal in court will be in your decision letter. Okay?
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Stephen. If you don't have any other questions, this concludes your hearing.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I wanted to see if you're up at under 11 o'clock is here.
Okay, just 1 second, I'm going to, yeah, and when, you can send them up in a moment.
Sure.
Yep. Hello. See you in a moment. Well, good morning.
Hi.
Have a seat here.
So I have two copies of the same appraisal. I brought
Fine,
two.
I'm gonna swear you in,
Okay,
I've got a
sure.
couple of points of order that I've got to serve,
Yep.
and then I'm happy to take all of them, okay? Bill? My name is Judy Zablak. I'm one of 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm going to hear your appeal today, and your hearing is also being recorded. I'm going to say a few things for the record. Please correct me if anything is inaccurate. Your appeal number is 216. Property you're appealing is located at 1520 Post Road. The owner of this property is Mercurio Brothers Incorporated. Town has the property appraised at $2,331,100. And you're requesting the town reduce the appraised value to $2 million. Is that correct?
No.
No?
No.
All right, so
What we put on the application is that 1508 Post Road and 1520 Post Road combined are worth not more than $5 million. And I have an appraisal of both properties, which values it at $5.25 million.
hold on one moment.
So the appraisal does not make an allocation. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, just a moment, I just really need to confirm for the record that you're either the owner of the property or an agent authorized to appeal on the owner's behalf and swear you in?
Yes, so I'm Phil Tears, I'm from Cohen & Wolf, I'm one of the duly authorized agents to represent the owner.
Okay, and And you please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear that the information that you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you very much. So, and you're also, you're saying that you wanted 1508 and 1520, you're talking about them as together. We gotta do these separately. So I'm not, because they're assessed separately, we should go at them separately.
I
In my
understand.
opinion, right?
However you want to handle it's fine.
So-
What I was saying before is that the number that you guys have as our requested value is not correct.
Okay, so what is that, tell me what that number is.
Well, I'll do some math to make an allocation, but, the appraisal we have does not make an allocation because the property has common ownership and are operated together, so they have common expenses, so there's no allocation in our appraisal. But, let me see, I can do it based on the card.
Yeah, I'm really not quite sure what to do with that, you know? And the appraisal, it doesn't address them as single properties.
No. So, 1520 is the less valuable of the two parcels.
Right.
The town has roughly 36% of the value of the two parcels on that. So,
I don't even know if this is okay to even, okay, I'm trying to figure out what to do properly here for you, okay? Talk to me a little bit about both, and then I will probably ask Ross to come, I'll ask him for an idea as to what to do. If you want, you want to wait a moment? I'll go down and chat with him.
well, I was going to give you the allocation for the two parcels.
I'm not even sure that, you know what, I'll take the allocation, and if there's something incorrect with it, then there's, or improper as far as regulations that I am not aware of, then, it's going to be subject to, I have to have him look at it. So go ahead and give me the allocation, that would be helpful.
So based on the field card, if you were to combine the two properties, roughly 36% of the value is attributable to 1520 Post Road. So taking our appraisal, that works out to be, I just lost it. That works out to be $1,890,000 for 1520.
And the other property at 1508? And that's 64% is what now?
$3,360,000.
Okay. I just want to go and talk to the assessor for a moment. I just want to make sure.
You want to show me how to do it?
Okay, not yet. No, I will take it. But I got to take a moment. Pardon me. wanted to do right by you and do the right thing, okay? There's a sheet for you in. Thank you very much. And then you're gonna give me the, is that 2 appraisals, one for each? Or that was, for
yeah.
each file?
For each file, yeah, I know you have separate files, so I'm just gonna give you 2
Appreciate that.
copies.
Great. Thank you so much. Just 1 second. So I want to make sure I get the right ask amount, and I'm going to change it. So on the 216, the right ask amount is, did you say 150? Oh wait, no, you know what? I want you to just confirm that. You said 1890. Is that what you said?
That's right, yeah.
All right, I just want to confirm it, because I want to mark up the sheet. You said that was 36% of the value of the 2 properties?
Yeah.
Right, so 1890?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's basically just based on the same ratio the town is using. Obviously, we don't have independent independent valuation, but I think that's probably a pretty good number.
All right, and the other, you have a $3,360,000.
Yes.
Correct? That's number 217.
Yes.
Your value there, you're asking the change amount, your request amount is no longer $4 million, it's $3,360,000.
It's $3,360,000.
Okay. All right. Appraisal to be attached to each file. Okay, so talk to me a little bit.
Okay, so these are 2 parcels on the Post Road. The main tenant of both is Colony Grill. They are 2 separate parcels, but they have common ownership. The appraisal notes that they, because of their zoning approvals, they can't be legally sold separately, which is why they were valued as a single.
Say that, all right, say that one more time. There are 2 separate parcels, but they cannot be sold separately?
Correct, because of their zoning approval, and that's noted on the 2nd page of the cover letter to the appraisal report.
Right. I'm looking at the 2nd paragraph. Is that what you're looking at?
The bolded on the 2nd page of the transmitter letter. So just look over the bolded paragraph that begins, while the subject consists of 2 separate tax.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's why the appraiser valued them together. So I'll note that this appraisal was not performed for the purposes of the tax appeal. So it's a straight up appraisal. It's done for estate purposes. It valued the 2 parcels combined at $5,250,000. The town's combined value is about 6.4 and change. This is valued as of December 6, 2017, but the tenants are still the same, and the same leases are in effect. So,
what did you say the town's combined value was?
It is about, it's $6,470,000.
Okay.
And in reviewing the, if you turn to the appraisal, so I was just noting, although the effective date of the appraisal is earlier than the revaluation date, the tenants, I believe, are all the same. So I think it's still a good metric for the value of the property. And if you go to page 53, the appraiser used a 2-year profit and loss for the property. And I think this is where the town's increased value comes from, is that their response to the income and expense report that they filed last year was a little bit unclear.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they double counted utility income, or utility reimbursement.
Mm-hmm.
Or the way they answered it led the town to double count it. Because what they did is they included the utility reimbursement in the per square foot rental of the property, and they should have included it separately. So I think the town, in its analysis, is double counting what they got from the utility.
So they included the utility reimbursements and what else, and the rent?
So on the income and expense report, they have to report the per square foot rental charge.
Yeah.
And what they did is, when they reported that, they included the utility reimbursement. And really, that's a separate question. So the way they answered it was a little bit unclear, and the town interpreted it to double count the utility reimbursement, because they took those numbers and then they added the utility reimbursement.
So they reported this to the town in an unclear fashion, is that what, or it could have been, it was just, you couldn't, you have to, it was ambiguous, let's just say that. Is that?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit unclear, and I think that's why the town's value is too high, because of that. It doesn't change what the property is actually getting in income. Which, suggests that the value is, around 5 or 5.25 for the 2 parcels combined.
Okay. And they included comparables here, or they just did to?
So the appraiser developed 2 approaches. He did an income capitalization approach, which is his primary method because the property is income producing. He also developed a sales comparison approach to determine the value, and he reconciled the 2. So if you go to page, if you go to page, it's numbered page 2, but it's page 1, 2, 3, 4. Summary of salient facts and conclusions.
On page 4?
It's numbered page 2 at the bottom.
Yeah, okay.
But it's the 4th page of
that.
Okay, so it says at the top, summary of salient facts and conclusions.
Right.
Okay, so the income approach that he developed valued the property at $5,230,000, the 2 properties combined.
Mm-hmm.
He developed a sales comparison approach that valued the properties together at $5,440,000, and then he did not develop a cost approach, and then his reconciled value conclusion was $5,250,000, which is what's bolded, and that is his opinion of value as of the effective date of the appraisal.
Okay. And there's been no changes to the tenants since then? And that's
I think the tenants are all the same. I mean, the primary tenant is it's Colony. You've got the tennis shop. You've got Coldwell Banker. I mean, the main tenants are definitely the same. There's not been any major fit-up or remodeling since 2017. I think, the big improvement to the property was when Colony went in, and that was back in 2010, 2011. So there's been real no significant changes since then.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to share with me?
No.
That I can share with board members? Okay. Then I will be presenting your petition to the majority of the board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision within 7 days of the decision. All decisions will be made in March. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If you're granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next evaluation in 5 years. If you don't agree with the board's decision, you can take the next step until your decision in court. And instructions on how to appeal in court will be in your decision letter.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you very much. If you don't have any questions, this concludes your hearing. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Elizabeth, are they here?
Yes, so I was a little confused, so, Jean Schroeder is here.
Right.
Um,
I have to finish this 1 second.
Okay.
You just give me like a minute? Can you stay there?
yeah, I'll wait for you, good.
Trying to do get everybody, if I can have it done. I just have a couple of notes that I gotta put in some of the other
Right,
files.
so that you remember, yeah,
Well, no, I wrote
you're
on
in
my
there.
own,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
writing on the town file.
right. Okay.
Okay, what you got for me?
So Jean Schroeder is here, she has an 11:30 and an 11:45.
Right?
But then you also have another 11:45 at the same
I
address.
don't know why they did that, right?
So I don't know, is the same address as her? Is that related to her, or?
I have no idea. There's
Okay.
131 and 574.
Yeah.
They both say 1968 Black Rock.
Right.
I don't understand, maybe because it's the same address, and because I have no idea why those two
Or
are.
at the same time. So she's here, so maybe if you, I don't know if you want to see her and then.
Yeah, well, I will see her. I'll do her 521 right now,
Okay.
right?
Okay, yep, sounds good. I'll send her up.
Yep, great, thank you.
You're welcome. Are you Miss Judy?
I am Miss Judy, and are you Miss Jean?
I am.
Well, it's a pleasure, have a seat.
Like to shake your hand.
Oh, thank you.
How are
you? Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm okay.
Let's get together on this. I've got a couple points of order, Jean, and we'll do that, and I apologize if you've been here before, you're gonna hear the same thing over and over again, but, we have orders that we need to do, right? So, my name is Judy Zipline, yes. Would you, I will need for you to come as soon as I swear you in, okay? My name is Judy Zipline, I'm one of 9 members on the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm going to hear your appeal today. Your hearing is also being recorded. So I'm going to say a few things for the record, and please correct me if anything is inaccurate. Your appeal number is 521. Property you're appealing is located at 390 Jennings Road. The owner of the property is 390 Jennings Road, Fairfield, LLC. The town is your property appraised at $6,035,300, and you are requesting that the town reduce your appraised value to $5,566,762. Okay, is that correct?
So far, so good.
Okay, great. Now I'm just going to confirm that you are either the owner of the property or an agent authorized to appeal on the owner's behalf. And swear you in.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you state your name?
Jean Schrader.
And are you an owner or?
I represent the owner, the lessee, the 100% occupant.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jane. All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear that the information that you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you very much. Now I'm going to ask you to sign this.
Should I sign just the one or both of them?
Well, you're going to need to sign both of them anyway. I'm going to do them again. I'm going to swear you in again for the record on the other one.
Or should I wait on that one?
390, you can do that one.
Because actually the beginning of what I'm going to say is the same for both of them, so it's just the support that's a little different.
Okay.
So we might can expedite it.
Okay, well, that's great. Now, you know what, while we're on that subject, I also have somebody else from 1968.
Who do you have?
Rachel?
I don't know, Rachel.
Oh, do you know about this?
Is this the owner or the owner's
Looks like
representative?
the attorney.
Yeah, I was informed that they had withdrawn their appeal.
Oh, okay, well, this is, okay, I don't know, I have both you and her there, so we'll figure it out as it comes up, so I will, great.
to be very candid with you, too much information, but I've had this situation in one or two other jurisdictions because I represent CVS, and CVS is the 100% occupant at 390, and it's the 82% occupant at 1968 BlackRock. And according to the lease agreement, they have appeal rights, and they have given me authorization, which I submitted along with the appeal. So my understanding was they reached out to the owner to have the owner withdraw. And I think in one situation, the owner actually said it wasn't me. So it's a little confusing.
Okay, so that'll be, we'll see what happens in 15 minutes.
Can I go ahead and sign this?
Please do.
Yeah, since, like I said, the beginning of what I'm going to say is the same.
Thank you very much.
Sure. And I actually talked to the owner. I thought it was this one, not 1968 BlackRock, so that one surprises me a little bit. Well, perhaps my evidence is more compelling.
All right, so we're about to figure some stuff out. Okay, so talk to me about 390.
So on 390, and I do have this packet for you.
Okay, so now this, I think I already have this. Unless, did you include this in
I included with the appeal just this summary sheet, so I do have some additional information here.
All right, good. I'll just make sure.
Yeah, but basically, and God bless, I'm sure as you guys are going through all these hearings, you're probably hearing a ton about COVID and the impact that it has had on.
Bear with me just a moment. I want to make sure that what I have for you is I have everything. That's great.
Sure.
So good. So this is new. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is a little light. This is extra. Great.
Yeah,
Okay.
just a little more information.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. Thanks so much.
Sure.
All right. So, all right.
Have you had a lot of hearings this year? Yeah. I actually sat on the board in the town where I live a few years ago, so I can appreciate the effort
Thank you. Thank you very much.
that you're going through.
All right. So, talk to me about 390. So that's, you have 100%. So you were talking about 100%, and this is close to 82% on one BlackRock Turnpike.
Yeah, there's.
You were talking about 100% what?
Yeah, CVS is 100% occupant of 390.
Yeah.
And basically what we have done, I mean, clearly we're looking at this is what I do for a living, real estate reviews. I work for Deloitte, and we're looking at the market and what is going on, and obviously COVID has just thrown everybody into a tailspin. Now there are some facets of the landscape that are doing okay, but retailers, hospitality, et cetera, as you can imagine, they have gotten slammed by the pandemic. CVS and the type of property they have was no exception. To be very candid, though, I will say that CVS, they just released their earnings a month or so ago. Their earnings overall, now this is, company-wide, and obviously the company should not be included in the valuation of the property, which I think it might be, but their sales year over year were fairly stable, and that was really driven by the pharmacy, and obviously, they are administering the vaccines, et cetera. But what we're seeing, just like many other retailers, is that the front-end sales, so the retail and typically the high margin, did drop year over year. The operating income fell almost 17%, and basically it's because the front end of the store, like everything else, that's not where people are going to buy goods like that. They're going to other places, and CVS is not really the destination of choice, but sometimes they just go there because they're there for the pharmacy, et cetera. But basically what happens is that's leading to an underutilization of the front end of the store. So it's super adequate, basically. All that being said, I do want to point out that when we did our income approach and I was looking at the income, I am strictly looking at what I am seeing in the marketplace. I am not taking anything over and above that to say I need another, or I'm requesting another 10 or 20% adjustment for COVID. I am not doing that because I believe that the pandemic and its
I'm not
impact...
seeing an income approach to value.
Hold on one second. Oh, didn't I?
Okay, here we go.
Yep.
All right.
So basically...
I was looking at that last page.
Yeah, so we're not including anything over and above, right? So what I have used in the income approach, and that's what this is, ma'am, is just showing you, you know, what I'm considering comparable properties. This is from a service called CoStar, if you're not familiar with it. It's a renowned service that tracks commercial and industrial activity across the nation. And it's actually showing in the sub-market rents of about $23, $24 a square foot, or I should say in the market. However, in the sub-market for this particular property, I did see them a little bit higher, so I actually tweaked it up to $32 per square foot in my income approach to value, which is reflected here, ma'am, on this income approach here. The cap rate, and I'm not sure, are you familiar with how the income approach works a little bit?
Yeah, I'm a real estate agent.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So the income approach I've gotten is from the market as well. I'm not creating that. I'm actually getting that from CoStar, and you can see what it does list of the retail. There's a couple other CVS's. There's a Walgreens. There's a Rite Aid. They're all about the same size. So they're, in my opinion, they're very comparable. So I think it supports the numbers that I'm using. As I said, the cap rate is derived from the market. So I'm just applying. Again, I'm not taking any special adjustments relative to COVID. We all know what's going on in the market because of that. Actually, if you're a real estate agent, do you do residential?
Yeah, I did commercial many years ago.
Oh, okay, but residential is in some areas way up right now, right? Mm-hmm. So what I've done is I've just used the prevailing market rents. I've taken a very small adjustment for vacancy and loss allowance, as well as the management fee and reserve for replacement. I've used the cap rate of 6 for 6 to come up to a derived property value of $5.5 or $5.6 million. So not really too far off with what the assessor has right now. To further support that, and the last page I had, again, it shows some sales in the area, and these are typically within 10 to 20 miles, so I'm not looking at something out of state or anything like that. And the ones that I thought were most comparable, I've actually listed what the sale price was per square foot. So again, you can see I'm looking at, you know, a CVS, a Walgreens, there was an Advanced Auto Part, and a Dollar General. Dollar Generals are going crazy right now. But again, you know, of comparable square
footage. And what are you
footage.
looking at for square foot for 390?
I beg your pardon?
What are you looking at per square foot? I'm seeing these, I just, because they're going to ask me anyone to send this to the board.
Yeah.
I'm looking at 219 Dollar General, 229 on North Avenue for Walgreens. So what is your square footage on 390?
So the square footage, and actually I think this is incorrect, but it should be around $200 per square foot.
Okay.
I have the property record part here for the property, which I can't seem to locate.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. If there's something that you want to add, you can, you know, get back and you can email it to me.
Yeah.
So you can get that.
No, I think
you've forgotten.
No, I think you're okay there. And not to switch horses on you, but basically it's the same conversation that I had for 1968. That's why I was saying they do overlap a little bit, and we have. Yep.
What do you have for this one?
Yep. So here's your little package there. So I don't need to go through my wonderfully.
Oh, which one do you have? Because you said you emailed stuff on 282.
Oh, what I did, Mr. Kosowski was so nice because with the appeal deadline, There were some jurisdictions, like the town that I live in, because the 20th fell on a Saturday, as I'm sure you remember, February 20th, right? Some of the jurisdictions pushed it up a day instead of the following Monday, but in, jurisdictions that are small where I live, they work 4 days a week. So when they were closed on Friday, they actually kicked the deadline up to the 18th. So I called Mr. Kosowski and talked to him, and he said, I will accept an email. So that's why I just made a note to myself there.
Great. So before we get started too much, I do want to go over a couple of details that I know I need to. And then if we just go with the moment. All right, so I'm going to state a couple of things for the record. Mm-hmm. You ready?
Yep.
Yeah, you are, and I'm not. Okay, all right. The year appeal number is number 131. The property you're appealing is located at 1968. Did we just do that? No. 1968 Black Rock Turnpike.
Mm-hmm.
No, no. No, I don't show you one here. This is interesting. I don't know what to do here. Because I had you on the other. Yeah, no, I'm not showing you on this one. Let's see if I think because you're on my initial list here. And
I know there was some. Did you say Appeal 574?
yeah, this one, no, 131.
This one on the notice that I got, ma'am, it says Appeal number 574.
Okay, I know what that is, okay. So for whatever reason, okay. Well, yeah, it's 574, okay. So I know what they did. They still kept you for some, you're on this one, and I may be here on this twice. I'm just going to do what I'm told to do.
I can't use for anything more than that.
Okay. All right. Then let me just do this again. So this is appeal number 571. 574, rather. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Property you're appealing is located at 1916 Black Rock Turnpike. The owner of the property is Fairway Closet Associates, LLC. The town is the property appraised at $8,896,900. And you're requesting that the town reduce the appraised value to $7,801,714.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all correct?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Thank you. And please state your name for the record, whether you're the owner or the agent.
Jean Schrader, I'm the agent.
Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Jean. We've already sworn you in, and I think we gave me just 1 second. I gotta make sure I have all this correct.
You take your time.
You had 2 of these sheets. Did you put that other sheet you said the other one? Hold on.
So this one should.
Hold on. Not yet. This is what you added. Did you have 2 acknowledgements of being sworn in or 1?
2. I signed both of them, remember?
Oh, there we go. I just, now is the time to get it straight, not later. Okay, great.
Okay, and then I gave you the second package.
And you gave me this, so I have that.
Right, so it's, and I think on this little summary here on the first one, the 281 was incorrect, but I gave you the right number for 390. So, this one, one of the things, and same, introduction that I had, right, but, on this one, the one thing that we noticed too, and I understand it was a several years between the reval, but we did see a really substantial jump in the value, of golly. I mean, this was about $3.5 million, mostly in the land value, and I can appreciate that, but that's what took us to look at this one again. And I deployed the same thing, ma'am. I looked at, and the comparables that I've used for the rent, it's the same because of the market and the sub-market. It's the $32 per square foot in terms of the rental rate with a 6.6% cap rate. Same thing. I have not taken anything over and above to request an additional deduction due to COVID because I do think that's reflective in the market rates that I'm using, which my derived income approach to value, property value, is $7.8 million. Same thing, I went out into the market, and that was the supporting information that I have provided, so not only for the rentals, but there are some slightly different sales that I've used, and I have relied a little bit more heavily on the Walgreens and the Dollar General to come up with that square foot value. But again, I'm looking at things that I feel are most comparable in terms of size, usage, location, etc.
And you're figuring a square footage cost of what? Did you say 32?
32 on the rental rate, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and on the cost approach, you're figuring how much?
Well, not the cost approach, but the sales approach,
The sales
right?
approach.
I mean, I'm kind of discounting it, but I'm just throwing it out there just because it comes up to a much lower value. I'm relying on the income approach to value, because if I use the sales approach and I'm looking at I used 281 because I went a little bit higher based upon the location, but that's still at around $5 million. So I am really kind of discounting that a little bit and relying more on what I'm seeing in the rental market as opposed to the sales market. But if I do take that $280 per square foot for the whole facility, it is about $5 million.
Okay.
Yes, I'm coming.
This is great. You have great notes. Really appreciate that.
Excuse me?
I appreciate your notes that you're included.
Oh, no, to be very, I like to give the supporting detail. I didn't include it with the original figure, and I had the opportunity to do this. I had a hearing last night, which was virtual, and I've had a couple of virtuals before, and one of the towns was fine. They accepted all of my information virtually, etc. And I could tell as soon as, not that you care, but as soon as I introduced myself, I could tell I wasn't going to be successful last night. I mean, the first thing the guy said, he says, "You're an attorney, you represent CVS," and I went through, just like I went through with you, without asking any questions. As soon as I stopped, he just said, "Motion to dismiss." And even the other board member said, "What is your basis?" I'm not following,
I'm sorry. So I'll explain to you what the hearing is, what it's like here. Okay?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to submit?
No,
I think we're all set.
I think with the income approach and the market approach that we used, I think it more than supports, and obviously in my humble opinion, it's all subjective, but it supports the value that we're requesting. So I think that is all at this juncture.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna read a couple things into the record, okay?
Sure.
So, thank you. I will be presenting your petition of majority of the board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision within 7 days of the decision. All decisions will be made in March. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If you're granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next evaluation in 5 years. If you don't agree with the board's decision, you can take the next step and appeal your decision in court. Instructions on how to appeal in court will be in your decision. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, and if you don't have any other questions for me,
I think I am concluded, unless, of course, you have any questions for me. No, sir.
All right. Let's see what happens in a
Okay.
few minutes. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. I hope you do as well. Good luck with the rest of your hearing.
I have one more, and then I'm done for the day.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Take care. Thanks again.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Hi?
Hi. So I got a question
No.
on
The
that.
answer is no.
Oh, you want me to shut that? Are you done?
No, I'm still waiting for somebody, but I think they might not come. It's a duplicate.
So the last one I think you heard is 1968,
Yeah,
Black Rock Turnpike.
right.
We actually had 4 appeals on that from 4
Yeah.
different people.
Right.
2 withdrew. We didn't hear from the other one, so I'm not sure who was actually supposed to
That
hear
was,
that.
yeah, because I, 1968, that's the one.
So I think Schroeder came in on.
Schroeder came in.
Okay, and the other one was a phone call. Did they?
Oh, was I supposed to call? No. I need to phone.
That was
I better call.
Wilson Law.
Wilson, yeah, okay, I better call.
Yeah, so just maybe clarify who actually is supposed to be representing that one.
Yeah, no.
Because there was a little
okay.
bit of confusion.
All right.
Like I said, we had
Thank
4
you very
different
much,
ones.
thank you. Let me call
Okay.
right now, okay.
I don't think you have anyone else coming up.
No, I don't. This is the last one.
Hi, you've reached Andrew Franklin at Wilson Law. Please leave a message and I'll return your call as soon as I can.
Hi, this is Judy Sablack from the Board of Assessment Appeals in Fairfield, and I'm calling with regards to 1968 Black Rock Turnpike. We're scheduled for a info meeting at 11:45. I apologize, it's 12 noon. Thank you so much, and I don't know if I have a couple of different appeals on this property. I'm not quite sure who was actually the one to do it, but hopefully, if you are, then please call back, or please contact the tax assessor's office. Thank you so much.